What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So this is the new Samsung Galaxy S25, the regular one in the lineup. They kept the same three models once again this year. This, the S25 Plus, and the S25 Ultra. And I have separate videos on all three of these phones if you want to check that out. But I want to talk about what's new and unique about this one because it is the quote-unquote entry-level S-series flagship, and I think it's probably the best phone for most people out of the three. One of the first things that makes this phone unique now is that Samsung kept it the same size this year. It's 6.2 inches, and this is Samsung's smallest phone by far that they offer now. The S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra obviously are a lot bigger at 6.7 inches and 6.8 inches respectively, and all of the A-series phones now are all big. They're all 6.5 inches or larger. So if you want a small phone, something that's truly smaller than anything else Samsung offers, this is it. This is your only option. And honestly, I've always liked this size of phone. It's comfortable in my pocket, it's easy to hold, and technically the whole entire phone is a tiny bit smaller all around this year. This is the thinnest and lightest the S series has ever been, according to Samsung, by a few millimeters all around and a few grams. So yeah, I think the small size on the regular S25 is a benefit, and obviously this has been sort of a perk for the regular S series phone for a few years. As far as the build, this regular S25 and the S25 Plus have an aluminum frame and Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back. This is the same set of materials as the S24 last year, so no changes really, and the titanium housing is still reserved for the S25 Ultra. But these regular S25s still look really nice in my opinion. They're obviously premium flagship phones like always, and like I said, they do feel a little lighter this year, but I guess that's not really a huge deal. You might have also noticed already that there's a few new colors for the S25 lineup this year. This regular S25 and the S25 Plus have the same color choices, and they have some pretty interesting names. So there's Icy Blue, which is kind of a blue metallic. There's a Mint Green. I personally like this one the most. There's a Navy Blue, which is definitely the most vibrant, I guess you could say. And there's Silver Shadow, which obviously is a metallic silver or grayish. If you don't like any of those options, there are a few Samsung.com exclusive colors too. The one that stands out for sure is this bright red one that's called Coral Red. There's also Pink Gold and Blue Black. Those are two separate colors, by the way. And again, these colors are only available from Samsung.com. You can't buy them from Best Buy or your carrier or anything. By the way, I'll leave a link down in the video description, but Samsung is offering some really great trade-in offers if you pre-order this phone. Even for older devices, you can get a few $100s towards the S25 or the Plus or the Ultra, whatever you're interested in. And there's some additional pre-order perks as well, so take advantage of that if you're interested. Samsung fortunately didn't increase the prices on any of their S25s this year. I know there were a lot of rumors about that, but these phones are the same prices as last year, the same storage options too. So for the regular S25 here, it'll start at $799, and that's for 128 gigabytes of storage. But again, I don't think anyone actually pays full price for new Samsung phones. Between the pre-order deals and the carrier deals and all that, you can definitely save a lot of money. Now, inside, this regular S25 is powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chip that's specifically made for Galaxy. And it's the same chip that's in the S25 Plus. The S25 Ultra has a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor that's kind of been overclocked for an even bigger increase in performance, but I think this new chip is still going to produce some decent performance improvements, especially if you're maybe coming from an S22 or S23, since I know nowadays most people don't upgrade their phones every single year anyway. Spec-wise, the other important thing to know is that this regular S25 still starts at just 128 gigabytes, like I said, of onboard storage, which, let's be honest, by today's standards, isn't a whole lot. You can get the 256 gigabyte model, or if you just want to get the S25 Plus or the Ultra, those have even higher storage options to choose from. But the other big thing to know is that this regular S25 now has 12 gigabytes of RAM. In previous years, the regular S25 had less RAM than the other S series phones for whatever reason. So now you get the same, and this should also help with performance too. Samsung is really big on performance performance this year. They are every year, obviously, but they're really pushing performance this year because with the new One UI 7 update that ships with this phone, they've added a ton more Galaxy AI features, and Galaxy AI is even more integrated within different apps and settings and things. So to take advantage of all this, they basically went all in on performance. Speaking of One UI 7, this is definitely one of the most substantial software updates in quite a few years for these Samsung devices. Visually, you can see things have changed a little bit, but they've added more widgets like the Now Bar and Now Brief, where you can get sort of a summary about all the things going on in your day. New this year, they've also incorporated Galaxy AI within all the rest of the Samsung apps and the Google suite of apps now, along with WhatsApp and Spotify to start off, with probably more apps being added soon. So Galaxy AI is really expanding beyond just the handful of device-specific or Samsung-specific features that we saw over the last year. And with this app integration, Galaxy AI can also sort of do like a string of things all at once now. So for example, if you say, tell me when the next Warriors game is, add it to my calendar, and send an invite to my friend, Galaxy AI should be able to handle all of those commands all at once across the different apps that you're referring to. I think this is super useful, honestly. It really cuts down on the different tasks you'd need to do one by one to accomplish those things, and it's probably one of the instances where I can see AI actually being pretty helpful in my day-to-day life. One other cool thing is that Circle to Search now works with music and other sounds that you see on screen. So if you've ever been listening to a song on like Instagram, for example, and you didn't know what it was, well, now you can circle to search that audio track, which is super helpful. So just a ton of new One UI 7 and Galaxy AI features here with all these S25s. And I think I'll definitely need to make a dedicated video outlining everything because there's just so much to talk about across this entire One UI 7 software update. One thing Samsung also mentioned is that Circle to Search is supposedly used every single day by a good percentage of their users now. So let me know if you are one of those big Circle to Search users yourself. As far as the battery and the charging speeds, Samsung didn't increase any of that here for the regular S25. You've still got that 4,000 milliamp hour battery inside paired to 25 watt wired fast charging and 15 watt Qi 2 wireless charging. But Samsung says that with the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chip inside and the One UI 7 software update, battery life on this phone should be better or at least more efficient throughout the day. Obviously, that remains to be seen. We'll have to test that out when we have the phones in hand. But I think a good chunk of what has to do with battery life overall does have to do with how efficient the phone is. So hopefully this new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor paired with all the software add-ons that Samsung has incorporated will actually lead to more efficient or better battery life overall. And the last thing I want to talk about is the camera setup. Now, the three lenses on the back here are technically the same hardware as last year. Got a 50 megapixel main lens, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And the selfie camera up front on this phone is the same too. It's the 12 megapixel lens there that we've had for a while. Mainly what Samsung has improved on this year is how they process images and videos, especially with low light pictures and videos. They said that there should be a big improvement to noise reduction with low light shooting, which would be awesome. And they also added a new feature called audio eraser. So if you're in a noisy environment, it can identify a bunch of different noises like wind or background chatter and remove that from your video. And this is really cool because it's just a really practical and useful feature that I think a lot of people would use anyway to fix their videos. In my opinion, it makes more sense to have this instead of like more megapixels in the camera or more pro camera features that very few people actually wind up using. There are some new pro camera features on the Ultra, by the way, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in testing out the cameras on the regular S25 to see how they compare, and I'm really curious to see just how much better low-light video and photography really is on these phones because it is something Samsung highlighted pretty heavily. I think overall for the entire S-series lineup this year, the software with One UI 7 and Galaxy AI is where you're going to see the biggest changes. Obviously, these updates will also come to other Samsung devices as well. And by the way, Samsung is is still sticking with 7 years of Android updates with the S25 series. So for those of you who don't like upgrading every year, and I feel like most people don't anyway, like I said, you've got plenty of years to enjoy these phones if you do decide to get any one of them. But what do you guys think about this new S25? Are you going to be pre-ordering it yourself or maybe buy one later this year? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, of course. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video though. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.